Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome into Rover Sports, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Oklahoma game today. Baker Mayfield was absolutely sensational today in the game. I mean, he played against UGA's defense, and the thing that happened was he was able to hit Flowers, he was able to hit Anderson in the first half. The way he can throw with touch passes is just incredible. He can lob balls in to fullbacks, to running backs. He can throw to his right. He can move left and throw. He has great velocity on his passes, and in the first half, he got Oklahoma into a lot of good running plays. Lincoln Riley in that offense was rolling. Rodney Anderson was rolling downhill on UGA, and that 31-point first half, really the best played half I've seen any offense go on UGA all year long. I mean, the Rodney Anderson runs, Baker Mayfield making tremendous throws, whether it be to Lamb or Hollywood Brown, Marquez. That was just a great performance by Baker Mayfield. And then in the third quarter, UGA got him. They started to only blitz 3 to 4 guys or rush 3 to 4 guys, so they had 7 guys in coverage. They had DeAndre Baker, Aaron Davis. They had the secondary play very tight man-to-man coverage like Dominic Sanders, Parrish, or whoever the guys were out there. And basically, when Oklahoma had to pass protect against 4 guys, UGA would run stunts, so they'd have 7 guys in coverage, nobody would be open, and the offensive line would break down due to really impressive stunts from Kirby and Mel Tucker, and Baker didn't stand a chance. They also didn't run the football. A lot of it was due to Lincoln Riley not being able to play call, but there weren't receivers open. Again, they were only rushing 3 to 4 guys. So then Baker Mayfield, then he had that unfortunate interception where he started to press a little bit, and he did have the flu. He did take tons of shots during the game. We saw that UGA player pound on top of Mayfield. Then Mayfield, UGA put up a 24-0 run on the Sooners, okay? And you're thinking the game's over. I mean, when it was 38-31, I thought the game was lights out. I thought Sony and Nick were going to run the thing all the way back to Atlanta. The defense was humming. Oklahoma had zero momentum. But this was the play that almost saved the game for OU. The throw to Lamb was a ballsy throw down the left hash, was a tremendous throw by Baker Mayfield to Lamb. And then Mayfield was able to scramble. This was all heart. 24-0 pounded on you by a UGA run. All the chips are down. Everyone's thinking you're done. Your team's just going to fold up tent and quit. And Mayfield, the legend, drives them down the field, rolls out and hits Flowers in the back of the end zone. Flowers or Anderson in the back of the end zone. An exquisite 3 to 4 play drive. That was just vintage Mayfield. I mean, Mayfield's been beat up all day. He's playing the best defense in America. And Mayfield in that drive gave them a fighting chance to win the game. What bit OU in the ass, what really did OU in, was the third down calls. They got the scoop and score from Parker. Made an amazing play. So now OU's up by 7. Then they get the football back. They get a stop. Sony Michel drops it. They get a stop. It's 4 minutes left. At this point, what you need to win a football game is you need to run the rock. You need to salt away the game with time of possession, win in the trenches. So OU gets decent. They get 8 yards in 2 plays, and it's 3rd and 2. Biggest play of the game. What does Lincoln Riley call? A weak kind of option pitch to Flowers or to Anderson that was literally a yard away from Baker Mayfield. Terrible call, didn't put it in Mayfield's hand, ran him out to the right, and the linebackers and Roquan and Lorenzo will just chase that all day long. They didn't even try to pound it into the line and push forward and get a couple. Even let Mayfield sneak it there. Anyway, they have to punt. UGA clutch drive. Jake Fromm hits, I think, Godwin down the field at the 5-yard line. Chris Godwin, he hits him down the field at the 5-yard line on a 3rd and 10. Jake Fromm made huge throws on this drive. Oklahoma and Stoops, they were very conservative with their defensive play calls. They only rushed like 3 to 4 guys. And the defense, again, let up another touchdown. I mean, they just got gashed all day. In the 3rd quarter, Chubb and Sony absolutely gashed UGA's or Oklahoma's defense. And I got to see how many running yards Georgia had, but it felt like 500 yards. And again, like we talked about Big 12 defenses trying to shut down running games, and that's what haunted Oklahoma, is that in the trenches, it was just no contest. And it was the majesty or the magic of Lincoln Riley, the play calling in the first half, Baker Mayfield, and Anderson. It was a clinic of offense by Lincoln Riley. And without Lincoln Riley, the Sooners wouldn't have even been in shape to win the game, because the play calling in the first half was fantastic. And we can only nitpick the second half, but with Bob Stoops, they're never in this game to begin with. So then we get to 50 seconds left. OU has 3 timeouts. It's 3rd and 2 again. And what they decide to do at their own 48-yard line, instead of running the ball, instead of letting Mayfield roll out, they decide to call a wheel route to a fullback 20 yards down the field. You know what chance you have of hitting that? Literally almost no chance. And Mayfield sailed it over his head. Maybe they got the matchup they wanted. Huge miss. Overtime. First series. Blankenship hits for Georgia, so it's 3 points. 3rd and 2. Again. Here we go with 3rd and 2s. They then, instead of not running it in the middle of the field, they run it, but they run a jet sweep. So not only are we running some sweeps to the left, a weak option to the right, not taking any shots to the end zone, playing not to lose, not to win the game. You're playing not to lose, you're not going to win the game. You got to have big balls, big brass balls. Those are the people in life that get things done. The people that are not afraid of failure. And that's a lot easier said than done. Heck, I'm still really afraid of failure almost all the time in everything that I do. But I got to try to conquer that. And I'm just telling you why OU lost. They didn't take it to UGA. They were afraid because Baker threw that pick, and because the back end coverage is so athletic and everything, that again, you can't win with field goals when you're playing an elite level team. And eventually it caught up to Oklahoma. They did a couple screens that didn't work out on the next series, and Lincoln just got too conservative. Congrats to the Georgia Bulldogs. Now looking at Alabama throttled Clemson. What a performance by the Alabama Crimson Tide. A classic Nick Saban performance. Just when you're thinking Dabo's going to take over this college football thing. You know, Clemson went out, they throttled Miami. They just killed South Carolina. You're thinking that Clemson is this juggernaut that's just great. Well, Deron Payne had a game. Damian Harris, they got some friction in the running game. Daboll, although Daboll kept throwing late, he called a decent game. Deron Payne was incredible. The interception. Anthony Jennings today, number 33. The linebackers just killed it all day long. They killed it. I mean, I've never seen the Alabama defense play as well as they did. It looked like an opener. Now, Alabama had a month to rest, so who knows if they'll come out more sluggish, and it's going to be a UGA home game. Bottom line is that Alabama defense looked like it could stop Sony and Nick Chubb. They look like they could stop anybody. They're playing with house money. They feel doubted, disrespected. Committee put them in there, and they kicked ass, and they won the rubber match, and Saban still reigns supreme to Dabo Swinney. A masterpiece of violent, tough football. Again, unlike Lincoln Riley, Nick Saban never expects and never plays to lose a football game. He plays to dominate you and take away your will, and that's what Alabama did to Clemson tonight. It was like rated PG-13, rated R type of beatdown. Like hide the ladies and kids. Hide the women and children. This thing is going to be an ugly, soul-taking beatdown. And that's what it was. I'm sorry to Pigskin Pete, man. I'm sorry for you. But Clemson, head held high. Amazing program. Better quarterback recruits coming in. Kelly Bryant, no downfield throws. You have Hunter Johnson. You have guys like Lawrence. I forget. Trevor Lawrence is coming in, one of the most talented quarterback prospects ever. Clemson, do not worry. You guys on a down year where one of the best players ever leaves your program, Deshaun Watson. You guys still make the playoffs and win the ACC pretty handily. And also, Florida State has transitionings now. So you guys should be okay. Louisville's going through transitions. Clemson should be back. I mean, I know Francois will be healthy next year, but again, Jimbo's gone, so we'll have to see what happens. For the national championship game, like I just laid out, I don't think Georgia's going to run the football on Alabama. Alabama playing too well right now. They're a 4-point favorite. I initially thought the Dogs would win. I don't believe Jake Fromm can take over a game with big-time pass plays. Now, I know Jake Fromm hit some versus Mississippi State. I know he hit a couple versus Tennessee. I know versus Auburn he hits these back shoulder balls in the air. But this Alabama secondary, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Ronnie Harrison, I mean, they're not going to allow you to do anything. And eventually, I know Jalen Hurts isn't spectacular, but the running game of Harris and all these guys, Hurts is more athletic than Jake Fromm. Hurts is going to make some plays on you. Hurts is motivated, has been in the moment. Alabama is a hungry team that's been in the moment before. They went down to LSU, and in similar fashion, they were able to beat a hometown LSU crowd as well when they won in the Superdome there with A.J. McCarron in about 2011. So I think that the Tide will win this game, probably going away. My prediction on the score of this game, I think the Crimson Tide win this one 24-10. I do. And it's going to be a home game for UGA. If UGA wins, hats off to you guys. Kirby Smart, that is the beginning of a new dynasty, no doubt. Kirby is going to be the new Saban. I just don't think it happens this soon. Congrats to the Dogs again. Roquan, love the kids of the Georgia Bulldogs. Roquan, freaking Davin, freaking Lorenzo, Aaron Davis, DeAndre Baker, Natrez Patrick. Inside you got Atkins, Thompson, Ledbetter, Clark. Clark was amazing today. Number 52, Clark. The best two running backs, maybe in SEC history as a tandem, Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, both going to be top 4 NFL picks. Nick Chubb has the most rushing yards in the history of the Southeastern Conference. He has been just an incredible college football player. Maybe even a top 40 college football player of all time. And one of the best Georgia players in terms of volume and production of all time. You have just senior leaders all over the field with Sony, Nick, Roquan, Lorenzo. That's why Davin Bellamy, because that is why they are here, because they are experienced, they're hungry. Mel Tucker, Kirby Smart. It is a new dynasty. Justin Fields is coming in. Kirby has dominated the state of Georgia. And you saw Mark Richt melt down in the Orange Bowl. He knows that Kirby, he'll never be half the coach Kirby is. And that's not a slight at Mark Richt. Mark Richt was still very good for the Dogs. It's just Kirby is Georgia. Home run hire. Everyone's saying he's never been a head coach. He's always in Saban's shadow. Well, guess what? If I were a Tennessee fan, I'd feel pretty good about Pruitt. And guess what? Kirby Smart is legit. He's a top 5 coach right now. He's coming for Dabo's spot next. If it's Harbaugh or Kirby, I'm taking Kirby any day of the week. And I like Harbaugh. Kirby is just that good. And today you saw that.